And here we are, we're back for round 5 of Legacy Legends 2018. I'm Jared, this is Isaac, this is Chris.
Hey.
How's it going?
So your opponent from round 1, Isaac, he's come back, old Jesse Allen.
Yeah, Jesse's on Rug Delver, playing Nimble Mongooses and True Name Nemesis to lock out the game and get in there for tempo to slowly knock his opponent down with creatures that are difficult to answer.
So, unlike you, his opponent this time might actually care about that he has Nimble Mongoose on the battlefield. We've got Jake Porter on Miracles. Tell us a little bit about this one, Chris.
Yeah, so Jake's on a Jeskai build. It's relatively straightforward. I guess the quote-unquote flex spots. So he's playing a Portent as sort of the extra cantrip spell. He's on an Entreat plan as his win con. And then his board wipers, he's got Council's Judgment, Supreme Verdict, and Engineered Explosives. He's got the triple all as a one-off.
Engineered Explosives main I like.
Is he playing the Accumulated Knowledge build? Or
he is playing 4 AKs, so we should see plenty of cards drawn in this one.
So who do you like to win this one?
Look, I think of the two, I think Miracles is the better of the two decks in this particular matchup, as it just is a more focused control deck and has interaction which doesn't particularly care about targeting creatures such as Terminus.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. As long as he can get a decently timed Terminus or a Supreme Verdict in there, I reckon he's in with a good chance.
Yeah, plenty of basic lands, lots of card draw. It's looking good. Counterbalances backbreaker.
Alright, well, let's have a look.
Both kept 7. Well, if he's got Brainstorm blue lands and a Delver.
Triple Stifle draw, so double.
Oh, that's nasty.
Oh, those are cards, and they'll help to slow down his opponent, but slowing down Miracles may not be what you want to do.
I love how Jesse's
4 land 3 Stifle that's a bold keep.
I love how Jesse's put that Volcanic in the one spot with 100% glare.
I'm sorry, we're talking about the game, not just the camera angles at this point in time.
Oh, unlucky.
Jake Porter knows 100% to play around Stifle in this matchup.
He's been hit a couple times by that.
Can't stifle that Brainstorm, unfortunately.
Alright, so we're going to see 2 fetch lands and I think a Portent? I'm wrong, I can't quite make out what that white border card is.
Yeah, it'd be Portent or Predict, probably.
I don't think he's running Predict in his list.
I think I've seen a white border.
Yeah,
that's
like
Portent. Does Predict come in white border?
I think so.
Okay.
It's a grave mistake.
Barely deals any damage at all. It's hard to make.
Yeah. He needs to do more than count to 20 with that deck.
Unsurprisingly, Jesse here having a read of Portent.
That's a very important thing to do.
Yeah, that's
He's going to ponder that, but he'll have a little weight afterwards.
I'll see him take. There we go. Well done. A little bit hasty on the draw. I mean, I'm saying something now as if I haven't made that same mistake myself.
It would be funny at this point to watch Jake go fetch, see the Stifle, fetch in response, and see another Stifle. But unfortunately, that's not the case.
I mean, you call that funny, I call that war crimes. Atrocities.
Only funny because I'm not in the game, and no one ever fetches, Stifles fetches against Burn.
Well, there are 23 players at this event, 22 of them would have found that funny.
Alright. Really contemplating this brainstorm.
Looks like he's going to get rid of those Stifles.
I think he's got one on the bottom of that pile.
Looks like he still has one or two.
He's got at least one there. Looks like a...
One seems fine with 2 fetch lines.
Kind of looks like a counterspell is the last card.
Interesting that he's choosing to draw that Wasteland back.
Yeah. When you're playing against Miracles, they run at least, I'm not sure if it's specific deck list, but at least 4, if not 6 or 8 basics.
I'm used to seeing about 7.
Yeah.
There's more than enough that you can get around a fistful of Wastelands.
That being said, though, so I mean, Jesse knows he's got Stifles for these 2 fetch lands.
Jake's on 7. 5 island, 2 planes.
Yeah.
Jesse knows he's got Stifles for these 2 fetch lands. It's not it's not implausible that he naturally draws a duel at this point, or would be needing to naturally draw a duel at this point.
Yeah, though again, I'm sure he has shuffle effects, and you can see there he has a Jace, which we could use to get away from those lands in case, maybe being that he has 2 fetches in play, which you can use to get rid of those unnecessary lands. And we do see a stifle there of this fetch. We'll see how this resolves.
We might see a force here.
You see a force.
It's force pitching Jace.
I will respond to that.
Jesse moves to contemplating the spell pins.
I would snap with the Sylvias here. If he's forcing a stifle on one of his multiple fetch lands,
And that's a fetch. Jesse appears to have fetched in response.
fetch and get around another stifle. I like it.
Yeah, so I think Jesse is fetching, and Jake is then fetching in response.
So you find him attractive? You think he's fetch attractive?
I think he is.
I'm here all day, guys.
Thinking about that spell pierce.
He's certainly looking it over.
Alright, what do we got?
It's stifle,
Oh,
spell pins.
Stifle's not going to do it. Oh, I mean, it's just re-stifle the fetch, but I guess that's where you want to be.
No, I'm not letting you.
I think in a blue force-based deck with no combos.
Okay.
Okay, that's where he wants to be though. That you want to maintain card advantage. Without a threat, mana denial may not be the best option. However, we'll see how this plays out.
Still early days.
He's going to get instantly punished here, I think, by Jake playing out this next fetch land. So we know that Jake has a Scalding Tarn in hand.
I will then pass.
And those wastelands are more than likely just going to be lands that are wastes or colours.
Ah, see what you did there. Swords of Plowshares off the top. It's not going to be targeting that Nimble Mongoose, but if any of the more threatening creatures come out of the Rug Delver deck, that could be very useful.
Didn't you just play the Tarn this turn? You just played the Tarn this turn, and then you
Yeah, I don't think you can get planes off Scalding Tarn.
Try that again.
Try that again. Possibly go Grey Island instead.
Was the planes from hand?
No, it looks like he's fetched with a Scalding Tarn.
I'm a bit confused as what's happened here. Hopefully we get it all sorted
There
out in
we
a
are.
second.
Yeah. That's what happens there on the screen.
Yep. How many cards?
Alright, so Spell Pierce and I think a Forcible being shuffled back in here by Jake. Five cards in the graveyard from Jesse, so there's a very real chance that this Mongoose becomes a 3/3 next turn.
Preordained to draw there.
It's not doing him much good.
How many preordains is he running in his list?
Two.
2. 4 Ponder, 2 Preordained, 4 Brainstorm.
1 Portent.
And a single Portent.
So it's the new version, or newer version of Miracles running the accumulated knowledge instead of the Portent and Predict, which are previous iterations were playing. So
Yeah.
that they can slowly grind additional card advantage over the course of the game with less filtering and shuffling, but
I much prefer it. So I think Portent is a holdover from when they're still trying to live the dream post the top ban, and they're still playing Counterbalance, but they're also playing Portent and Predict to take advantage of the Portent, and also that 1 mana enchantment that lets you shuffle for a whole bunch.
Soothsaying, I
That's the
believe
one.
is the one.
That's it.
yeah, build your own top.
But it just wasn't.
So expensive.
It was terrible. So yeah, they finally realised that this is a dying thing. So just go over the pure card advantage in the AKs.
The other thing that's relevant there is that AK is useless in a DRS meta.
True, very true.
And Predict can also be used to disrupt your opponent's brainstorms to change the top of their deck as well.
Oh, that's true.
That being said, given that Jake is on an Entreat build, you're, I think, better off playing Portent to try and set up for that Entreat on your opponent's turn.
Yeah, definitely. My build of Miracles is Mentors and Back to Basics in the main for a more aggressive form of deck. Surprise, surprise.
So you play blue-white mid-range, you're not playing Miracles then?
There's Terminus
Okay.
for the nombo of Monastery Mentor and Terminus.
I will lightning bolt targeting you.
Bolt to the face.
Now that's more up your alley, Isaac.
Always a strong play.
What are we going to see here? Tarfire to the face. In for 3.
Make them ghosts big.
Threshold online, I'll attack for 3.
More than likely playing those cards to turn on his threshold.
Yeah, almost certainly. Realizes also there's not a lot of great targets that are coming out of the Miracles deck for Tarfire. Although it can be relevant to hold into a Lightning Bolt for a Resolved Jace.
Jake is a fantastic target for Tarfire, thank you.
Yeah. Those Snapcasters, if they're going to be winning the game, that's going to be late game with a lot of card advantage or lock pieces in play. And you're not going to want to hold them to your tie fires for that point of the game. You're going to want to cycle those cards through early to build your Tamagotchis.
Alright, there's the Wasteland target. Hope to see that happen this turn. Yeah.
There we
it
are.
is.
Right on cue, and he is floating some.
He's got a
mana.
floater man. He's got an AK in hand, so we'll probably see that. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
No real surprise. And a read. Yeah.
So how many do you roll? 1. Yeah. This is the first one. Yep.
What printing of AK is that?
That is the dual deck printing.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
AK being recently reprinted in the Master Sets.
Yeah, reprinted in Masters 25.
Nice.
The lovely Nemesis watermark. I'm a big fan of those watermarks.
They're beautiful.
Counterspell and engineered explosives, not doing a huge amount.
Force, Spell Snare.
And Spell Pierce, I
Spell
believe.
Pierce.
Still got that
Yes.
Spell Pierce from the beginning of the game. Hands like this with Rug feel terrible. Just wishing for a cantrip.
Yeah. If he had a creature or 2 creatures on board, that hand would be extremely strong.
So we should
But
see-
without a threat in place, it's just more or less dead cards at that point in time. As if you're waiting and not playing any threats, Miracles is going to love that and play those sorts of games all day long.
So Jake still quite happy to develop his mana here, even with dual lands.
Yeah.
There's the Brainstorm. I think he... Oh, interesting. Okay. I'm surprised here that Jake's let that one
Oh,
resolve.
and those are some great cards there for Jesse. He's picked
Oh.
up what looks to be a Nimble Mongoose, a Tarmogoyf, and a Delver of Secrets.
Yep, that's a
Triple
Delver.
threat.
Yeah, those are 3 great threats, which he's going to need to answer. So he can easily get rid of the Spell Pierce, I would say, and another one of the answers, possibly putting one of those creatures back on board to draw later, so they can have a threat and a means to protect it this turn.
Yeah, I don't want to get too greedy here.
And he's played a Glare, as far as I can see.
It's a Glaragoyf?
Yeah, I think that was the...
Or a,
I think that's the
Tarmogoyf?
Tarmogoyf.
It is.
Pitching.
I'll
That's
sort of-
Force Pitching Force.
And he's got 2 mana up to take care of that Spell Pierce in Jake's hand as well.
Pass the turn.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be pretty happy making him fetch, I think, here at this point, though. So you know he's just stacked the top of his deck, and he hasn't chosen to fetch after resolving the Brainstorm.
Are those 2 fetches on the left there for Jesse? It's hard to say.
Yeah, I believe so.
They are. It's
It's a Misty,
Misty
and
and-
something. Maybe a Flooded
a Flooded Strand.
It's
Yep.
certainly not dual lands, that's for sure. I tried the counterspell again. Ooh,
and gets the Spell Pierce. He's rethinking that.
So he's going to force pitch in the Spell Pierce.
And that's the nimble mongoose put away there.
Jake still with the EE, if he needs to deal with the Delver that Jesse has sitting on top.
Jesse, 0 cards on the just try on top. He knows he has these threats coming through. By the looks of things, he's just going to let that resolve and put it in engineered explosive into play.
Yeah. Play it for 1.
Just hold that up.
Or just do it right now.
I think
So
that's
play around with
correct.
Stifle.
Exactly.
Yeah, Jesse's smart enough that he's not going to play another 1-drop in there, so the worst thing you're going to do is just hold him off playing a 1-drop for a turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also give him the opportunity to draw into Stifle.
That is by far the better play.
You could always...
But he's what? He's shown 3 stifles this game, hasn't he?
He shuffled
There-
1 back.
There is
Yeah,
always
okay.
the opportunity to hold it back, with the line of being able to see then what the top card of his library is in response to the trigger, then cracking it up. Or once he's in his draw step, so that way you gain more information.
He's having a look through. So just the 1 AK in the graveyard. Seems unlikely that that'll be the flashback target.
Yeah, as when it's flashback.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So that's only the one.
That may have been the only instant speed. Yeah, oh no, he did the brainstorm as well. Okay, that's interesting.
He's going through again to just double check these only got 1. Draw his card there.
Oh, terminus. Unsurprisingly, chooses not to cast.
This is that slow beady clock we were talking about earlier. The miracles, unless they play a retreat or another big late game engine, they can just smack through with a Snapcaster and control the board.
I mean, Jesse has the answer with this lightning bolt, but man, you're hanging on to that one to hope to go to face.
Yeah, when they're at 6 life, you don't want to be using your bolts, especially when you have more cards than your opponent. You want to be able to put a threat down of your own and hold that bolt up in hopes that you can play a nimble mongoose, hit them for 3, and then wait until they do something, or push through that bolt with your own.
So he has got himself the goose.
Goose
He's about
is
to
loose.
get loose.
Spruce goose to be loose.
Plenty of cards in the graveyard.
Threshold is certainly up. But no barbarian is to be seen. Looks like his hand is Spell Snare, Lightning Bolt, and Brainstorm.
Choosing to go for the Ice Age brainstorms. Acadian masks.
I'm a fan of the conspiracy ones, personally.
Yeah.
Definitely do not like the Ice Age art, though.
Yeah, I'm not particularly a fan. Although I don't mind what people put in the deck, it only gets me tilted as you players often are by small things if they have different ones.
See, I did that for a while.
Yeah.
When the Masters 25 came out with the vintage
Oh, yeah, one of
Masters
each.
online art, like the literal brainstorm. Yeah, I did that for a hot minute. 1 masks, 1 Ice Age, 1 conspiracy, and 1 Masters 25.
There's Brainstorm there, picking up looks like a Daze, a Stifle, and possibly another Stifle.
I think he's got a Tarmogoyf there, actually.
No, yeah, it looks like there's a Tarmogoyf in there. Whether that's come from, I'm not sure. I just looked away from the screen for a moment.
Unsurprising chump block there by the Snapcaster Mage. We'll probably see the Tarmogoyf come down here, and next turn will be a Hardcast Terminus.
Yeah, he's going to want a Hardcast Terminus. He can't manipulate the top of his deck in such a way that he can cast it on his opponent's turn for mana efficiency. The other reason he wouldn't hold back with Terminus.
Ooh, that'll do.
Yep, that will also do. Those are some good chump blockers there.
This is always a fun question to ask, especially playing against a Delver deck. What do you cast Entreat for? Do you go all out?
Yeah, how afraid of Spell Pierce are you? Do you want to be made a fool of?
Or days?
Yeah, or days. Do you want to tap out and play your Spell Pierce? Play your Entreat the Angels for 4? Or do you want to just put a couple of angels up and hold a potential answer in hand?
Alright, so we've just got a quick judge call here. And we're back. Alright, so the players have sorted out everything there. Now I believe we're about to put Entreat on the stack, but Stifle for the Miracle Tree. That'll do it.
Well, he'll still be able to play those angels by the looks of things if he has enough white mana.
I don't think he does. I think he's only got 2 white mana at the moment, so I think he's priced into hardcast terminus. There we go. There's the line we talked about earlier. Unfortunately, he doesn't have another cantrip in hand, although he does have the Flooded Strand. So imagine we could probably see a hardcast Entreat next turn for... What can he make there? I think I see... If he fetches another white source, I think he can Entreat for 3 hardcast next turn?
1, 2, 3. Your third white source. 1, 2...
Yeah, and with it putting those,
3, yeah.
And with his putting those creatures away, even just a cast for 2 would be enough to both hold back a blocker and apply pressure with another 4.
Cast for 3 would be fantastic to hit days, though.
Yeah, we were just speaking about that. Do you go all out or do you play around days and spell?
No,
pierce?
I've lost so many games from going all out.
Yeah.
I've played a match down at Masters years ago where I played around Spell Pierce, but I didn't play around Mana Leak. How's he going? Oh, he does not have 3 white sources there.
Which is, I think, what he's literally just realised. He does, however, he should still have a Tundra in the deck.
Oh, he definitely does.
He's had 1 Wastelanded.
He's running 2
3,
Tundra.
1, 2, 3, 4. I believe he also has another island in the deck.
Yeah, but he wants his white source.
There's 5 out there, which is 7 in total. But there we are, there's another Tundra.
Yeah, he has 2 Tundra, 2 Volcanics.
This is the best part of the Miracles deck. Shuffling your deck when you've only got about 15 cards left. Alright, so we are going to see it for X's. Ooh!
Oh!
Boom!
Oh,
Did you forget our little days discussion?
Oh, there we go.
And that is just, as the art depicts, a slap to the back of the head.
We fetch to shuffle those Tamagotchis back to the top.
He'll be regretting that decision for days.
Oh, terrible. Oh. Terrible. Jake on 4 life here. That lightning bolt is looking particularly ominous. Dismember, I think, the draw there for Jesse.
Is he Spell Pierce? Does he have Dismember in the main?
I'd be surprised if he didn't. He should do.
He definitely should do. It's game 1.
Yes, 1 Dismember in the main.
Yeah.
Which looked good. It's going to change from the last moment.
Ponder the new draw. It's a nice card to have at this point. And there's his Tamagotchi again. Let's get that out there.
Is a big clock with just 1 hour hand to spend.
Okay. Just the 1 Entreat out of Jake's build as well, so if he wants to get that one back, he's going to need a Snapcaster Mage.
He's firing off with his AK. Seems dangerous.
Oh, zing!
Oh! Line flip, boys.
I wonder if he knew about that one.
Can't daze it. I mean, okay, I take it back. You can daze it.
You can stifle it too if he can find a way to manipulate his hand.
And back to the bottom, now with no fetch lands remaining. Force of Will, easily within hardcast territory.
And that bolt looking more and more painful as every moment he stays at 4.
There's a fetch land. Does he get greedy, go to 3?
Surely not.
Nah, I wouldn't.
There's a counterbalance on
Would you
top
do it if
there
you put
as
a
well.
1 on top?
Oh!
for the ultimate rub-ins.
Yeah, bolt, and then in response, fetch for the 1 drop.
Alright, getting a nice long game out of our 2 players here. I was thinking about it. Thinking about hard with this counterbalancing stat.
Looks like he's going to cast a Daze, which will then be paid for.
Interesting. I think I would have attempted at this point now to try and get that lightning bolt in while I knew I could sort of resolve it.
Yeah, there are a lot of ones off.
He's just 1 checking here.
Yeah.
So he knows he's safe to get the bolt in now.
Oh, that's a
that's
stinker
not
of a
good.
ponder.
That's a
Does
shuffle.
he have a second blue card in hand for the Force of Will?
No, he's bolt dismember at this point. He's
Yep.
just
Yeah.
drawing the ponder.
What's he
and
doing?
He's going for the Wasteland.
He's going to waste the ponder. Oh, sorry, the tundra.
Well, the Tundra does stop him from getting back the Entreaty Angels, which is at least going to limit the amount of endgame threats that Jake can put on the board.
Yeah, but I mean, Jake's on the concede to counterbalance plan at this point, right?
Yeah. Jake is on the eventually I'll play a Snapcaster and I will beat you to death for that.
Here we go. ¿Por qué no los dos? So now I think we've got clear top of the library from Jay. Ooh, 1 drop.
Goose is
Trigger.
loose.
Oh!
Flip it again off the second trigger. Go.
Show him who's boss.
It's all about asserting dominance when you've got 2 counterbalances. Having this ponder is nice too. It's going to let him set at the top. No? Okay, shuffle. I didn't quite see what
There's 2 lands and a Swords of
Oh,
Plowshares.
yeah, okay. That's worth a shuffle.
Is Jake playing Search for a Scoundrel in his list?
I don't believe so. He is not, no.
Oh, and here's Jace. That's probably going to lock it up.
Yeah. Jason counterbalance with the Brainstorm and Fate Seal effects of Jace there are just going to make it very hard for Jesse to do anything at this point in time. He's hard casting, of course, at will. And I believe he will let 1 counterbalance trigger resolve, and then from there think about forcing that spell himself.
Let's not forget what
The
can happen.
lightning bolt at this point in time. Yeah. So his Force Pitch Force put him down to 3.
But he's tapped out.
And now he's tapped out. Oh,
So now would be the perfect time to get that bolt in.
yeah. Jesse, however, is tapped out as well.
Yeah, well that's what I mean. Jesse's tapped out.
Yeah.
Because now he knows there's a 2 on top, he can get through.
There is still that fetch in play for the blind.
Nope, just backs it up. All right.
He's not going to fetch and roll the dice with the counterbalance.
Well, you've got nothing to lose at that point, you may as well.
You may as well. I think I think that's definitely a
You know,
misplay there.
2 is just as dead off bolt as 3 is.
Yeah. It's
And so,
as a burn player, I can tell you it's not what life tells you at. It's how many multiples of 3 you have.
yeah. Well, you
No, man. Tough Fire Dells 2.
You're in miracle territory here, so how many
What?
copies
Thunderous of Wrath?
How many Thunderous Wrath?
You said miracles. That's what I assume you're talking
How many
about.
Exquisite Firecraft? That's 4. And Fire Blasts. So what's coming in here, do you reckon? I can see in Jake's sideboard 2 Monastery Mentor, which I can see definitely coming in to try and make that race.
Just come up the board a little bit.
So,
Containment Priest probably not, and Disenchant probably not. Tormods as a maybe.
Disenchant's not a terrible idea. So Jake will have played against a fair bit of rug, because there is a lot of rug in Brisbane.
Yeah.
And cards that he should be worried about, and I know that Jesse has, are cards like Sylvan Library and Winter Orb, both of which are just crushes in this matchup. So Disenchant probably is going to come in.
yeah. So
Definitely bringing in a 2 Pyroblast and a Reb though, and 2 Back to Basics.
Jesse's sideboard is 1 Life from Loan, 1 Sulphur Elemental, 1 Ancient Grudge, 2 Surgical, 2 Pyroblast, 2 Counterspell, 1 Graft Diggers, 1 Winter Orb, 2 Tyranny Versus, 1 Cluster Storm, 1 Sylvan Library, and 1 Abrade.
So all of those
a lot
things
of
we
those
just
options,
discussed.
a lot of those options that we have there. So he's going to bring in probably the 2 Pirate Blast, 2 Counterspell, the Winter Orb, the Sylvan Library, the Flusterstorm, maybe the True Name Nemesis, maybe the Surgical Attraction, with just trying to play those blue cards or the counter spells to hold on to his tempo and just force through a clock.
That's a lot, though. What do you take out for that volume of sideboard cards?
Dismember, I think, is
Dismember
definitely
comes
the
out.
first card.
Dismember's a super dead card. You can cut a lot of the burn cards there. That's not necessarily how you're going to win this game.
Yeah, I would definitely. I think Tark Fire is a bit of a cute card in this thing. It feels a goif, and that's about it. For the matchups here, like the difference between that 1 damage and the subsequent, I don't think is worth the spot in your deck.
Yeah, agreed completely.
Then I would think about you leave in your creatures because they are your engine and your means to the end, and you trim down on possibly cantrips, if not your removal and your possibly stifles and other other cards of that nature.
Okay.
You can even consider cutting some of the creatures in this matchup because you know you're only going to try and ride one at a time.
Yeah.
Go
Preferably a Goith.
towards the so-called full shroud build.
Yeah, that's why I would be playing the true names, the nimble mongooses, as my means to an end, so that the swords to plowshares and those other cards of that nature won't have any lethal targets.
And that is a keep.
Scribe
Jesse
a
Scribe.
cold strand to the ball.
Yeah, I don't think he wants another land with this hand. Jake's going to get his fetch in while he can. Ooh, that's interesting.
What, the mentor?
No.
No,
Just
turn
turn
one
one
planes.
fetch for basic planes.
It's definitely a play around the potential wasteland, but it's interesting that he hasn't gone for the blue source to begin with.
He's also
So
signaling
yeah.
it back to basics there.
He had the basic island in hand. So I guess in that sense, it's probably not so much of a big deal. But I hadn't quite seen the hand before I saw the play.
That's at least one, if not possibly 2 terminus I saw just going back on top of the deck. Oh no, a terminus and a mentor. Looks like.
So we're going to see the mentor straight away. Oh, stifle on the fetch land.
And that's
That's a force.
that's a hard no from me.
And stifle on the fetch land. This is Rug's best shot in this matchup.
Yeah, it's Rug's game plan in a nutshell, where you deny them of resources or tempo, and while pushing through your own singular threat, just to repeatedly hit them for 3 or 4 damage, depending whether you have a Goif or a True Name Nemesis or a Delbot, and just to control the board at that stage of the game.
The follow-up stifle is going to resolve.
A lot of stifles from Jesse in the early stages of both of these games. Let's see if he can pull away with this game.
It means we aren't going to see the Monastery Mentor.
Not at this time, at least.
Does, however, mean that terminus is still on top.
It's going to be
So that should, I think, deal with this Tarmogoyf. Yeah, there we go. Let's see a Force of Will.
We do see a Force of Will pitching the spells now. Interesting to see he kept the spell snare in this match. There are some crucial 2-drops, such as Snapcasters and Counter Spells, and Counterbalance. However, the majority of Jake's deck is 1-drops.
1s and the occasional 3. I don't think the spell snare's justified here. But it pitches to Force of Will.
It is still a good card. I would definitely, if I didn't have such a depth of options in my sideboard, would definitely keep it. But I would.
It is one of the cuts, though. Yeah.
I would definitely cut that card for things like Flusterstorm in the sideboard.
Alright, so we're going to see a Swords here out of Jake to get rid of the Tarmogoyf. Jesse, you're probably keeping that fetch land up, being mindful of something like back to basics.
And is that a Tarfire off the top?
Another Tarmogoyf. That's the trick one at a time.
Well, he's not getting much of a choice at the moment.
And that's a Tundra, looks like an island, and a Force of Will of the Pondo. Probably shuffle those away.
Yeah, I wouldn't keep this. The Force of Will's nice, but his blue card in hand is the back to base, which you definitely want to be resolving here.
Alright, this does also give him... So he has the Supreme Verdict in hand. This is going to let him get mana up for that as well.
As a side note, I was very disappointed they were going back to basics because I already had no copies.
I was able to offload mine when they were 300. I was rather happy with that.
And I bought mine the day after the reprint was announced.
That's when I bought mine back.
Old art, man. Gotta have the old art.
It is the nicer art. I don't mind the new
No,
art.
the new art is very nice.
It is, but it's not back to basics.
I do like the new art, and I like the fact that, for me, I like having art which is the same borders on all of my lands, so everything
That's
true.
true.
On everything, all my cards.
That Wasteland is a surprisingly big setback here for Jake. He's got Forcible off the top.
Does he still has the Mentor in hand?
I think it's his
There we
best
are.
shot here.
Ooh.
Hopefully he gets an opportunity to cast a Force of Will.
And no signs of interaction. We flipped to Delver with a counter spell.
Interesting. It's not offering... it's a bit of a fringe sideboard card out of Rogue Delver, the straight counterspell.
Well, you can always cut counterspell because you're not going to be playing things immediately. Play for a slower game with the tempo and trim on the Force of Wills so that you keep the card advantage. It's interesting to see where and when you would bring those in.
It's a difficult balancing act though, because
Interesting.
Rogue Delver is all about the early game and actually denying your opponent the resources and getting yourself ahead in those first couple of turns where Forcible is much more useful, but as a utility spell I much prefer Counterspell.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the card disadvantage and all of your non-basic lands produce blue.
Yeah, that's it. And it would be interesting to see how
Except
many
Wasteland.
How many creatures Jesse has sideboarded out in this game to control the board.
So this is probably going to tie up this game now. This Red Elemental Blast here taking care of... I mean, probably just points it at the back to basics, still on the stack. And I don't...
Pirate Blast, isn't it?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
It's hard to tell with the new printing.
They're equivalent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Not a great deal of difference at this point.
Not at this stage.
no, but as a rug player, you should be playing Pyro.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah, that should just lock up this game, I think. Oh, Brainstorm.
Ooh. I don't like him tapping the Volcanic there, just in case he rips a bolt off the top.
So I think he's still got one underneath the trop.
Oh, sorry, you're right. That is a Volcanic under there, yes.
He's going to hang on to the true name. Yeah, interesting.
Well, I think that they're all dead cards at this point in time because you can't cast them anything. But maybe it's hard to say why we keep any of the cards at this point in time.
4, 7, 10, 13, 16. You only needed 5 cantrips.
He would have been fine. Well, that was a nice quick one. Quick 2-0 to Jesse Allen on Rug Delver.
Yeah, well played by both players, I think.
It was a tight match.
It was.
But Jesse just had it in both games.
Yeah, he did a very good job of playing around the hate cards out of Jake. And Jake unfortunately hit that late game days.
As a rug player yourself, how do you see the matchup going? As a boost favored.
Exactly like this. If you can really put the hurting on in the early game, it's the only way you get a chance. I mean, if you get to like turn 3 or 4 and they've managed to deal with your threats relatively easily without much disruption, then you are done for.
Yeah, that game is won or lost in the early 3 turns.
Yeah.
Opening 3 turns of the game.
Yeah, you want a Delver, a Mongoose, a Goyf, or a True Name down on the field, and
Preferably
you,
more than one.
No, one at a time.
Well, one will get counterspelled.
It's all about one at a time.
You've got to, so you've got to be able to resolve more than one of those in case you get terminus, or you get supreme verdicted, or you get countered. You need to have more than one threat in hand.
More than one threat in hand, I think is correct. More than one threat in the field, I don't think is necessary.
Absolutely.
Because the terminus, supreme verdict, any of those cards, even just a sneaky snapcaster to block. If it's you don't have threshold or
as long as you threat dense in the hand, you've got time.
Yeah, you need to be threat dense in hand.
Absolutely. So basically, as long as you can sustain the early onslaught of counter magic and swords of plowshares and all that other stuff, then you're going to win the game.
Yeah, it's classic tempo play. You put down one threat, you secure the threat for the rest of the game, and you just continuously smash in for whatever its toughness, its power is. Normally 3. To take them out in 7 turns or 6 turns.
Yeah, as opposed to if you start turn 4 and you play draw go, then you're done. You may as well scoop up. But that's it from us for round 5. We'll be back to the top 8.
We will indeed.